welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you guys here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can study for ages and not get bored, because I think that this is one of the main things that we all struggle with all the time. Even I struggle with this a lot. I'm going to be putting the structure of the video right here so that you guys can go straight to the timestamps that you guys want. So the first thing that I notice whenever I study, and I think this is true for a lot of students out there, we get bored when we are doing the same studying every single day, every single hour. So monotonous studying is super boring. I find that I get bored of this almost immediately. So what I do is that I like to switch up my studying every 2 hours. So if I'm doing 4 hours today and I'm studying maths, for example, I wouldn't just do maths. I do maths and chemistry for 2 hours each. And then tomorrow I do physics and bio. And then the day after that, maths and bio, something like that. So every single day is something different for me, which is why when it comes to having a study schedule, I don't actually say like, okay, at this time I'm going to study maths, at this time I'm going to study physics, because then there's no spontaneity there. It makes it harder for me to kind of like, I don't know, this one's a little bit difficult actually, because I like routine, but I also don't at the same time. So I like having a set time and maybe a rough idea of what subjects I want to do, but I don't necessarily stick to it 100% except for like the amount of time that I want to do it for. So for example, if I want to study for 2 hours, I can study for 2 hours any time of the day. I don't say that I have to study from 6 till 8, for example. Having it rigid makes it become a chore as compared to something that's more fun. Having it spontaneous tricks your brain into thinking that you're studying for fun, not that it's a chore, as you can see. Now, another way that you can make studying more fun and not make you as bored is to do it in different places. So instead of studying at home all the time, you can go outside, go to the library, go to a university, go to a college that you can sit in, ask them for permission if you have to. Sometimes they give you like a pass as a student so that you can use and study there. You can also go to cafes, which is what me and my friends used to do, which is go to like a different cafe every time we study, and we have like a rota where we can just like rotate between them so that we don't get bored with the place as well. Now this one I think is a little bit controversial. I know that a lot of people think that studying is done better when you are doing it at an empty stomach, and I think there's like some research about that. I am not too sure, I haven't researched about it, but I personally find that when I eat, I will study better because I am not constantly thinking about eating then. If I don't eat and then I study first, I'm going to be constantly thinking about me wanting to eat. What am I going to eat? Where I'm going to eat? What time I'm going to eat? I'm literally just thinking about me eating all the time instead of actually studying. So whatever distractions you have, get rid of it. When it comes to my phone, I literally just like put it as far away, out of my reach as far as possible. Or I film myself studying, like with Study With Me's, I go on TikTok lives, things like that, to stop me from going on my phone. I employ the Pomodoro technique method because I like doing it in chunks of 25 minutes and then take a break for 5 minutes. In this 5 minutes, I will do whatever it is like that I want. Like if I want to read a book, I will. If I want to go on my phone, I will. I don't really care what I'm doing in that 5 minutes, but I have to be disciplined with what I'm doing. If I'm studying, I will stop studying as soon as the alarm rings and then do whatever it is I want. Now, I know there's other methods out there. You can even take longer breaks, 50-10 or 25-10, although 25-10 I wouldn't really recommend because then you're taking more breaks than you are studying. But the more chunks you have, the easier it is to manage your studying and the less bored you will get. Because if you are doing it in smaller chunks, you are getting yourself into the mindset of studying faster and faster and faster, and constantly as well. Now let's talk about how to actually learn the content so that you are not bored, and what type of like websites you can use, what type of apps you can use, and things like that. So one of the things that I like to do so that I don't get bored when I'm studying a really complex subject, because especially when it comes to like really long pieces of text that I have to learn, I will get so stressed looking at that because I'm like, why do I have to read all of this? And I will get bored super quickly. So what I do is I like to put it onto an AI where I ask it to teach it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Now, the AI that I've been using recently is HyperWrite AI. And from this HyperWrite AI, you can basically do a bunch of things. It will help you to basically learn a lot of the topics as a 5-year-old, for example. You can also have it as like to teach you as if you're a teenager. So it's more like closer to our lingo, I suppose. And then also you can have a scholar AI. So if you're doing like a report, or if you're doing some like essay writing, you can give the topic that you're doing, and with the scholar AI, it can bring out references that you can use. Obviously double check everything. So far it's been good for me, but yeah, definitely try it out because it's been really helpful for me in order for me to not get bored when I'm doing 6 hours of studying. With HyperWrite AI, you can study anywhere that you want. You can study in the uni, you can study at home with your laptop, you can study in your iPad, on your phone, when you are going on your commute. You can do this anywhere. It is possible for you to study anywhere and everywhere. HyperWrite AI can also allow you to chat with whatever it is that you've generated. So if you generated content about, like, let's say, teach me about photosynthesis as if I'm a 5-year-old. It tells you what it is, but there's a part that you don't understand. You can chat with it. You can say, oh, I actually don't understand this part. What do you mean by that? Can you give me more examples? And it will do it. I've tried this for transition metals because there's a few things that you kind of like find it difficult for you to understand. For example, all of the different properties that transition metals can have. They described it with like crayons and things like that. It made it so easy for me to relate to things in real life that I actually understood it and could imagine it in my head, making it more effective than just reading off of a text, basically. I recently subbed as well to Brilliant, which is an app, I think. I don't know, I saw an ad for it on my Instagram, and I thought that the like UI, which is the user interface, looks so cool. The graphics are really nice. I think it's kind of like, I would describe it as like Seneca, but it looks really nice. I don't know how to explain that. I'll put a clip on it here so that you can see what it looks like, basically. Now with this, I basically can study anywhere. I really like that I can study in my commute, and I can use it as well when I am in the toilet and things like that. It doesn't necessarily have it according to like a syllabus that you're doing. I'm basically just using this so that I can learn some basic data science or data analysis before I do a course. I pay £7 a month, I think, for it. So it's not too bad. It's not like extortionate or anything. And the graphics are really nice, like I said before. So yeah, things like that where it has like really nice UI on an app or website that I'm using to study definitely motivates me a lot. I am very visual, so if there's a lot of very nice visuals, it does help me to study and not get very bored about it. But the problem that I get is that once I stop studying, like when I take a break from it, I will forget to do it the next day, and then eventually I just don't do it. It's kind of like Duolingo. Like you do it for like a week straight and then you forget about it for a year. It's the same thing with this, basically. I do it for a week straight and then I just completely forgot about it, even though there's like notifications there. So one of the ways that you can go around this is that when you are using these websites, I would use different websites, like I mentioned before. Doing things in like a bunch of like mixed match manners will become so much more effective, in my opinion, as just using one of them. So that's why, like, even for my A-levels, GCSEs, I use a bunch of websites, a bunch of textbooks, a bunch of past papers. I think for my GCSEs, I used like 5 websites, which was Z-Notes, Save My Exams, Physics and Maths Tutor, Papa Cambridge, and GCE Guide. And then for my A-levels, I used a lot more than that. Applying active learning when you are studying in order for you to not get bored is also super effective, because when you are doing active learning, let's say for example you're using Anki flashcards, everything's always randomized, and when it's randomized like this and you're doing multiple things where you're trying to remember it at different time frames. So for example, if I'm trying to do flashcards of a certain topic, let's say photosynthesis, the questions can get mixed up, for example. And when they mix it up like that, it's again spontaneous. The more spontaneity that you have, the less you will get bored of it. So wherever you can apply spontaneity into your study methods, that will help you a lot. But yeah, aside from that, thank you so much for watching my video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!